Yep, it's official. I think it's official, y'all. Hey, y'all give people grace, especially on the lighting. See, we could talk about 3-point lighting, which is a field light, a key light, and a backlight. The field light is kind of filling in things. You got your key light, which is kind of like the main light source. Then you got your backlight. The backlight is what's gonna, you know, separate the person from the background. So we're talking about filming and lighting. But what we're noticing too is about with Tubi, a lot of the indie films, I don't want to just blame Tubi, but a lot of the indie films, because indie films can go on any platform. But what we're noticing is that people are still watching. Sometimes you might come across bad lighting or non-motivated lighting, where it means unmotivated, means nothing is motivating this light. There's no reason for this light to be like this. There's no reason for it to be dark. It should have some light. We should be able to see the person. You usually want to try to get two little spotlight glimmers in the eyeballs, so that way it can give some character and depth, and it also separates your character from the background, so that way it doesn't look all like flat. But with technology, with streaming, with the thirst of content that's being built, there's a lot of consumers watching it that are not concerned about lighting. They don't know those things. They don't see what us filmmakers see. And I think that's what we have to remember as producers, as the business minded side, when we're putting stuff out, that we don't really have to. And also too, the camera operators, the DPs, the directors, don't be so hard on yourself unless that's just something that you're into, because there are people that are art. Because I've learned something else. There's an art and then there's craft. Both are probably needed, but the way that this person explained it, craft is more so like it's an assembly line. You kind of got it down. You're gonna go in and do the same rudimentary thing. I need to produce 3 albums. I'm gonna make 3 pop albums. That's what I'm gonna make. That's what I do. Art is, might be a pop album, might be a hip hop album. It might be a soul song, who knows, or jazz or blues. But it's gonna be artistic, and it's gonna take its time, and it's gonna have its own kind of craftsmanship into it. So that's what we're talking about when it comes to lighting a particular scene or a movie. And then once you figure out that, you can design light design. You can have your own light design of how your lighting's gonna look. So when you watch certain movies that make you feel a certain way, especially like when you watch Snowfall, or when you watch any kind of horror movie or something like that, just notice the lighting. And if you don't notice the lighting and nothing feels wrong to you, a lot of times that can mean that the director and the DP did a great job, because you're not supposed to notice the lighting. You're not supposed to make it extremely purple for no reason. Unless you're doing an artistic value of your lighting, then you can do whatever. There's no rules. There's just principles. And a lot of times they say once you know the rules of filmmaking, you can start breaking and bending those rules. So I don't want to make anybody on here to think that there's rules, because again, I'm the filmmaker's filmmaker. So I'm thinking just like you guys are. I want sharp, spectacular, high dynamic images. I want colors that are colors. I want them to be true blues and true purples and true browns and true blacks and true reds. I want those colors. But I'm also not gonna kick myself. I'm not gonna kick myself because I may got some lighting ratios wrong. No, especially when it's coming to the business. I'm sorry about the shaky camera. I'm holding it with my arm, and I worked out today. But no, when it comes to the business, you need to be able to get your product out, because some of you guys have masterpieces that's been sitting in your computers for years, and no one's ever going to see that. If you don't play the game, you can't win the prizes. So don't be afraid to put your stuff out. That's what this public service announcement was about, really. Not just about lighting, because I didn't show you any kind of demographics. I didn't show you any kind of before and afters. I'm just talking and telling you about lighting, because a lot of you don't know about 3-point lighting. So maybe I'll do a demonstration, a physical 3-point lighting setup, so you guys can see that, and I'll attach it to this video so you can go back and see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this. So one side I'm talking about is production, filming, and arts. Another side I'm talking about getting stuff out, execution, and not and giving yourself grace when it comes to lighting. A lot of times it's not going to be lit well, but if it has a good story, it could carry. And also, we're seeing the consumers of these streaming platforms, they are just consuming content. They want new stuff. They want new original. I don't know why Hollywood is not picking up on this. Why they're not picking up on that. People just want new original IP. They're tired of looking at the same old remakes, part 2, part 3, next chapter, the next generation. Okay, let's get the original. So I know a lot of my rants end up going back to bring it back to original artists, but that's exactly where we need to be at. And so to those original crafty artistic artists out there, those filmmakers, have some grace. These cameras are so good nowadays. The lighting is not really affecting your success to get your film streaming and distributed in front of people, and for people to watch it and like it and share it and talk about it. It's not stopping that. The bad lighting is not stopping it, guys. So stop it and have grace. Peace. This is another good word from your filmmaker's filmmaker. All right.